it's got to be keep being put out there, because it's just, I mean, especially with the George Floyd that case going on this week, it's just been seeing that stuff all over again. You just
for sure. All right, we are back on. We'll definitely talk.
Yeah.
The one man I love is married, got a kid. You tell that baby girl that her daddy loves her. Love. Michael is not pretty, but he's available. You get the best loving in the world when a man is begging. Oh. All of their looks. Wait a minute. You're telling me you're leaving me for another woman?
A white woman.
It's just leftovers. Collard greens and cornbread, some candy, salad, fried chicken, peach cobbler, 2 slices of ham. I have no business eating myself, big as I am. I like that. I haven't seen anything as big as I do. And Loretta Devine.
She's watching.
The challenges that make us stronger. Some of us are still on that dream trip, girl. And the prize that get us through it all.
You know by now, we are talking about waiting to exhale. So I just want to make sure, Leroy, you can YouTube page right now, it's live, and you can share it right to your page. Because I have Daryl's phone right here. I was uploading something on my phone, so it's not going to go straight over there. But let me see. I'm trying to send this to you, and we gonna get started. Let me know if you got it.
Yeah, I got it. I'm good.
Okay. You share, can you tag me in your page?
Okay.
Like on Facebook, just tag me and then we'll just get started. Yeah, because I have Daryl's phone right here because mine's uploading and it's not, of course, connected to mine. Hi, everybody. Welcome to More Than Just a Movie with Kendell Lenice and your boy, Leroy Mckenzie Jr. We are here every Wednesday, Eastern Standard, breaking down classic Black films. Y'all, you know, some of y'all know my story, but you know, that's not going to keep me from working. I am healed. I am cancer-free and I am back, almost back. My husband literally booted to the seat that I'm sitting in, but doggone it, the party still continues. People don't know what happens behind the scenes.
Kudos to my man.
Literally, you know, you take somebody, you lift them, and you like sit them there. That's literally what he did because I'm on kind of stool and it's higher, like I can go down. Speaking of that, your phone, I can on the seat, but I can't, you know, lift up onto a seat. So yeah, he definitely did that, and I appreciate that. But we are talking about waiting to exhale. So first, before we even get started, what's good, Leroy? You dressed up for everybody today.
Yeah, I thought I'd give everybody just a little, no, let me stop lying. I had to play grown up today, so I had to dress up. But had to have some business today.
Yeah.
So and got some business to take care of tonight, so I gotta be dressed.
You had to mind your black business.
Exactly. I like that. Yeah.
All
Mind
right
my black
now.
business.
Mind your black business. That's what I like to say. All
Exactly.
right. So we're talking about and thank you. Thank you for your prayers. You were one of the people I told. I appreciate you so much. You are my brother forever. We do this every week together. So how could I not, share something so vital, not share something so vital with you? So, but just thank you for your, unstoppable words and all of that that you gave me. I appreciate you, Leroy.
Absolutely. We love you, and we know you're gonna do what you need to do to get completely healed and everything like that. But just keep doing what the doctor telling you to do. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yes, and I had my this is my 13th day post-op, post-surgery, and I had my meeting with my surgeon, and I actually saw it. He told me on March 24th. And if you want to know my story and what we're talking about, right here on my YouTube channel, I talk about my cancer story and being a colon cancer. So easy to say, but that was God's will. So check that out. But I had my today is the 13th day post surgery, and I had my my follow-up visit today. And although he told me that I'm cancer free over the phone, on the actually writing today, so I'm excited about that. So continue to just keep praying for you, girl. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. So I don't know if it's a lapse between Leroy and I, but sometimes it happens like that. This is live, and sometimes it happens like that, and then it just works itself out. So there to be strong during this show. Amen. I pray for everything. All right. So Waiting to Exhale was released December 22nd, 1995. Of course, the story was based off of the book by Terry McMillan. Let me just talk about the book for a minute. It was on the bestsellers list for 40 weeks straight. When she sold the paperback book, she's in 1992, y'all, it sold for $2.6 million. So that's just the book. So who wouldn't want to make this into a movie? So, and then directed by Forrest Whitaker. So again, 1990, it was December 1990. And it made $8 million at the box office in 1995, starring an all-black cast. As you know, because we only want shoot 'em up, bang bang. We only want stereotypical. We only want this, and we're not interested in other things, or the moviegoers won't come out. They tell us that, right?
Absolutely, but you know what I'm noticing though,
so,
too, the trend that we've had here, Kendell. The 90s was a great decade for Black movies.
Yes. It really was, because think about it. Love Jones. We did Love and Basketball so far. We've done The Best Man. We've done Boomerang. We've done New Jack City. And we're doing now Waiting to Exhale. And they all came out in the 90s. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Great decade for Black movies. But that's
so Waiting to Exhale. I know.
But that
Go
was
ahead.
when
it's a lapse a little bit.
Yeah, I was just saying that that was really when there was this kind of a peak, or a purposeful, I guess I'm assuming it's Hollywood. They started to really see the black movie leads, or all black cast, because the movies that we've done have been either majority or all black cast. So I think that's when the powers that be, or whatever, in Hollywood really, they could no longer use the excuse, like you were saying, that, oh, that's not what people want to see. That's not the kind of movies that we want to put out, or anything like that. They had to put these kind of movies out because of the domain that was out there for them and everything. So
yeah, so very true. And then this one didn't have no shabby people in this movie. Now we had Whitney, Loretta Devine, Leela Rashawn, Wesley Snipes, Gregory Hines, Dennis Haysbert, Wendell Pierce. We had Jeffrey Sams. We had Michael Beach. We had Williamson. We had Kenya Moore. We had a lot of people in this movie. So Kenya Moore, before she was a housewife, Dennis Haysbert, before he was the president and the all-state man, Whitney Houston, one of her first roles. So I mean, a lot of classic lines that I know that I still use from then, I still use today in that movie, and we'll talk about classic lines as well. But it's some classic lines, like one of my favorite, "You leather vest in the summertime wearing." You remember that?
Yep. Little Shaw standing on the balcony.
And people still say, yes, and people still say, "He's a good man, Savannah." Like, they still say that when they're talking about a man, it comes out, "He's a good man, Savannah." And then all, sick with Loretta Devine, which they played in the trailer earlier, when she walks across the street and she says that she does her little skip because she had to gain weight for that role. "I hope he's not watching me walk away." Then he's like, "He's watching." Women say that all the time, and I've heard men say it too. So it's so many lies.
That's what I was gonna say. Do y'all really do that? Y'all be thinking stuff like that?
Yes, because then you put a little extra wiggle or extra little shimmy or something. You put that little extra little stank on it. And you know what it's equivalent to, Leroy? What it's equivalent to? It's equivalent to when you were in school and you had to go up. That was your first time to show off your little new shoes or new outfit, and you go up to this pencil sharpener to go sharpen your pencil. You all fresh to death, and you go up there. That is equivalent to that.
Oh, that is too funny.
It's equivalent. So I remember. So I always ask, I'm not even going to ask, do you remember going to the movie seeing this?
No, actually, I don't remember
when this movie came out. All right, so.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, so listen. So I remember when this movie came out, right? But you saw it at the movies. I know you did.
Yeah, I did see it in the movie.
So this movie came out, right? I remember, but first of all, still to this day, still her newest books, does it go downhill from here? And the new one, Don't Forget About Me, that's gonna be that book's gonna be turned into a film. But still up until recently, like, I still, love Terry McMillan, love her books. A lot of times her books are better than the movies, even the good movies, even the real good movies, like even Disappearing Acts, and that the book was better. Stella Got Her Groove Back, the book was better. So typically, for a reader, the books are better. And even when I wrote my first novel in 2005 and published that, I have my small select group of authors that I like, and And Terry McMillan is one of them, and shaped me as a writer with authenticity and her honesty. And I remember one time I went to a book signing of Terry McMillan, and it was in a church in DC. And Terry McMillan was being Terry McMillan, and she was cussing. She was like, "Dang, going, I forgot I'm in a church." And just, just being who she is. So, that says a lot just about her. And even when I do audiobooks and listen to audiobooks, she's one of the only authors that I know in that realm that speaks her own, records her own audiobooks. So she uses her voice. And if anyone knows anything about Terry McMillan's voice, it's very distinctive, right? But what I discovered today and did not even realize is that Terry McMillan is 69 and she still looks young. Like, she still looks the same. She is 69 years old, still creating just amazing. It's a little lapse. Can you hear me, Leroy?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We're live. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
good.
So I'm not sure if you can hear me. All right. So Leroy, let's talk about one of your favorite soundtrack that was written and produced by Babyface.
But see, here we go again. Each of the movies that we've done has had a phenomenal soundtrack to go along with it. And I'm sitting here thinking about it. I mean, all of them. New Jack City, Boomerang, they've had top-notch, the cast has been top-notch, and then the music producers have been top-notch as well, too, because this was a great soundtrack as well. And I mean, Whitney, I think Whitney had a song on the soundtrack as well, if I'm not mistaken, on here. But I mean,
Whitney, Faith Evans, Aretha Franklin, Mary J. Blige, Toni Braxton, Brandy, TLC, Shaka Khan, my girl Shantae Moore, CeCe Winans, Sandra Marie, Pharrell, Shauna, all women.
Look at that. That goes along with the theme of the movie though too. But that soundtrack resume of who's on there, man, that's the who's who of music. You know what I mean? That is definitely it.
Sincerely, I'm on. So you talk always like in the soundtracks, right? Is this one of your favorites that we've talked about so far?
I'm trying to think out of actually the one out of these that we've done so far. I would say my favorite is New Jack City. I would say New Jack City is my favorite.
Okay.
But Boomerang and Waiting to Exhale are right there. I mean, even Love and Basketball. All of them, but all of them are really great. But I would say out of all of these, my favorite will probably be New Jack City. I'm a Teddy Riley fan, so that New Jack swing.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That New Jack swing is just that's in me.
Yeah, and this is more like the who wasn't shoot or let it flow, let it flow. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Yeah. So when Babyface did his verses, since you're talking about Teddy Riley and Babyface, so when Teddy Riley and Babyface did their versus battle, right? Everybody was saying, Babyface could just win just on Waiting to Exhale itself. That whole soundtrack, he would win. And it's so funny that we're comparing now without even thought New Jack City soundtrack against Waiting to Exhale soundtrack.
Waiting to Exhale.
We love Ted. He was doing the most on that verses though.
Yeah, that's I guess there was some technical stuff, or people were saying that he was trying to do too much on there. So I'm just like, nah, just let the music do what it do.
He was. Exactly. Because they don't even need all that extra stuff. They don't need all that extra stuff because they both got some hits. They both been part of this music industry's songs.
Yeah. I mean, and my thing is too is
Absolutely. All
I
right,
think
so
no,
no, go ahead. It's a lap,
I was
but
just
go
going to
ahead.
say,
We're gonna keep going.
most people, when it comes to verses, that these verses things that they've come up with or whatnot, all of that stuff, people are there just to hear the music. People just want to hear the music. They don't need the extra stuff. If those artists just talk a little bit, give a little bit of background about where that song came from, music came from, people enjoy it because they just love to hear the story behind behind the music. They don't need all of the bells and whistles and all of that stuff behind it and everything like that. Just let the music do what it do.
Right,
You created it.
right, right, right. Just say Toilet writing this song and it became a #1 hit. Like, that's all we want to hear.
Yeah. I was going through this now. Yeah, I mean, and speaking of songs, I mean, on this soundtrack, the Mary J. Blige song, "No, I'm Not Gonna Cry." Everybody knows that's vintage. That's vintage Mary J. right there.
Everybody. And the video was classic. Yeah, and she had the hood on. She had the black lipstick on. She was singing. She was doing her Mary thing. Yep. And sitting up in my room. Everybody was sitting up in my room with Brandy.
Yeah.
All of those songs are classic songs. All right, so let's get into the movie, Leroy. So when you said, let's just talk about what they said. So in the beginning, when it first came out, people were like, they're making Black women look bad. They're making them look desperate. They're making them look hard up. The Black women in the press saying, a lot of Black women were like, oh, they're making Black women. But to be honest, to me, it was, no, I'm sorry. Let me change it. I misstepped. They were that it was making the Black men look bad and that Terry McMillan was male bashing. But what I thought, it made the women look worse than the men. That was my opinion as a Black woman. I remember they were like, there's Terry again, male, because when you shine the light on certain things, like, yeah, the men kind of scrubbish in the movie. But to me, as a Black woman, to me, it didn't make the Black men look bad. It shined a light on how desperate some Black women are, how accepting we are and what we'll take. Oh, we burning up cars, we flicking cigarettes, and with somebody else's husband. The mom in the movies, like, he's a good man, Savannah. Like, it don't matter, he's married. It don't matter. Just get you a piece of man. So to me, I didn't think it made Black men look as bad as the women looked, although I enjoyed the film. Tell me what you thought.
Well, I guess when it comes to that, I think it may depend on the perspective, and I wouldn't disagree with either perspective that came away from the movie, seeing those things. Like you said, yeah, if you looked at the movie from to me, from an honest perspective, like you were just saying, hey, what are these women doing? What did it say about the choices that the women in this movie made with the men that they chose to get involved with? And from a male perspective, looking at it, saying, okay, the dude, these dudes that are here. Let's see, one was married, one was using a woman that was Robin's character with Leon. Leon was just.
Oh, let's talk about Leon. Yeah, Leon was in it.
He was in and out of with her, allowing herself to be treated the way she was. But here she was. She had the other guy, which was Wendell Pierce. His character was the nice guy, and this stuff was almost kind of like stereotypical to me. You had the nice guy, Wendell Pierce, who she wasn't into because he was big, he was heavy set, but he was the one that was treating Robin.
But he was like, I got a house.
Right. He was like, what you day? He was like, I got that. Next. He was like, what do you want?
He was like, because she was like, I want a house.
Right.
And he was like, I got a house. Yeah. And Scottsdale, he was willing, like you said, give her the world. But the package was not what she wanted.
What she was looking at. I mean, and even if you look at Gloria, which was Loretta Devine's character, she was and here we go. She was the dark skinned woman, dark skinned. She was heavy set. She was a single mom. She had the husband that had left her, and what's his name? That's my boy. Esposito.
It was gay.
Yeah, John Carlo.
Juan
That's my
Carlo.
boy.
Juan Carlo Esposito.
He hasn't gotten the accolades that he deserves too, because he's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
and is a great actor. But him,
as Spike Lee has been blessing him for years.
Years. And I think, well, he got his start, I believe, with Spike. I think Do the Right Thing might have been his first movie. I'm not sure, but but even you know that Loretta Devine's character Gloria, her, you know, their relationship and him leaving her and he was gay or whatever, and everything like that. Just the whole dynamics of each of the men that were in there. You can see it. The only one that you could were kind of like, well, I mean, even though they were developed from the book, but even Tara McMillan, if you read her books, if you're a fan of hers and you've read her books, you know the characters that she's had in her books, the male characters that have been displayed in her books. I mean, in this movie was just a reflection of that. And if you look at each of those characters, I think the Wendell Pierce's character is one that sticks out as a positive character, and then even Wesley Snipes' character, it was a smaller role in this one, but it was significant in the relationship that he had, one with his wife, and then the relationship that he had with Angela Bassett's character, which was Bernadine. You know,
Bernadine.
So, yeah. So it you know, you could come away with both of the depending on who you are and your take on things. You could come away with feeling either way like that. It was like most brothers, you and I know most brothers gonna come away, oh, she dogging, like you said, all she doing is dogging men. Oh, she hate men, and that was the thing with Terry McMillan. People, most men did feel as if she was bitter and that she was mad, you know, that she had a thing against men, you know, and hey, for whatever reason, it might have been.
I think with Terry, that she. No, go ahead. Go, Leroy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I wouldn't say anything.
No, what I was saying, to me, your men did used to say that back then, because sometimes it's hard to see a mirror. It's hard to see reality. It's not all, you know, it's not a blanket. But to me, as a woman, when I didn't feel like she was male bashing, because she shined that mirror on women too. You know what I mean? I think she was just telling a story from an honest place. Now people can look back and say, oh, she was genius. She was amazing. She was, you know, she was a trailblazer. She's a legend in this game. But it's hard to see that when somebody is sharing the truth that you're not willing to accept yet. And that was for Black men and women, and how we related, and some of the things that we accepted, some of the things that we did tolerated. The character of women. I'm sure you know, if it's not you, I'm sure you know somebody like all those characters.
Right. You could definitely, to me, you could definitely identify.
You know,
you could definitely identify with one of the female characters, and you might even be able to identify with one of the male characters in there too. Be like, yeah, I know dudes like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's start with Leon. Let's start with character, right? He was the door was swinging open, and he wanted her, but he wanted his cake and eat it too. You know, he knew that she would take whatever, but she'll still have him back, until she finally realized, you know, when she was pregnant by him, that I could, you know what, I don't need this. I can just do this by myself. So think about that. That's pretty honest, right?
Absolutely.
I love him. I'm deep, and I'm gonna let him keep coming in and out of my bed or in and out of my life. you know, and he's going to keep doing it because I'm allowing it, right? So on both parts, the man's role and the woman's role in that part, I think that was pretty honest. What do you think?
No, absolutely. I think it was honest, and like you said, if you were to really look at the characters, whether, like I said, the of course the women were the main characters of the movie, so folks are going to focus on them more so than I think the men that rotate through the movie are that are kind of like the sub characters of the movie and everything like that, because you see them because of the relationship of the ladies
Mm-hmm.
that are in the movie and everything like that. And Robin, her character, which is Layla
Right.
Deshawn's character, that's real. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that is show enough real right there, where you got this
Mm-hmm.
man that's popping in and out of your life, and he's popping in and out because she didn't want to let go of it for whatever reason, whether it was her own self-esteem, it was her wanting to hold on to a piece of a man, as we've talked about too, you know or whether it was just like, look, I don't want to get back out there, I don't want to have to dust myself off and pick myself up again, get to know somebody all over
Mm-hmm.
again, to just be let go, to be disappointed again. And you have women that will do just exactly what she did,
Yeah.
stay there until they do come
Yeah.
to the realization that, hey, you know what? No, I don't
Yeah.
have to stay here. I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to accept this, you know, and move forward, you know.
Yep, absolutely. So we talked about those two. So think about Bernadine and her husband,
Yeah.
Michael Beach. So Bernadine is Angela Bassett's character. You know, Michael Beach, man, in Soul Food, he done slept with the cousin. You know what I'm saying? Cousin Faith.
You
You
sensing
know,
a
like he
theme?
can't. Come on now. He always is cheating. Come on now. So then here we have him, you know, she's getting ready for him to get the award. She's dressing up, and it almost looks like Angela Bassett is sideswiped. Bernadine is sideswiped when her husband says, I'm leaving you, and it's for his assistant, and the assistant happens to be a white woman. So, already mass hysteria in the movie. Every black woman is like, what? That neck almost fell off. Like, he cheated? And she's a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's neck
Yeah.
almost fell clear off in the movie. But now I'm probably one of the only black women that I know that was like, she ain't got to burn up the car with the clothes in it. I was the only one, because in the movie people was clapping when she went into that closet and she got all them clothes. I was like, times already. This is my personal opinion. Although I love her on 911, that is my show. Who don't like Angela Bassett? She looks good. Let me preface it and all that, because I don't want nobody coming for me. But Angela Bassett is extra. In everything, she is extra. So when I saw the movie and I was like, here she go. She running to the closet and clean. I was like, it's too extra. Like I was probably the only woman in the movie that wasn't jumping up in my seat and clapping. And then she took it and she stomped out, and every woman in the movie theater loved it. I'm sitting here like, that's a little teen too much. But I was probably the only one that was saying that. Every other woman was like, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, but see,
But
here's the thing.
No, go
Here's
ahead.
the thing about no, I was just gonna say, here's the thing about that though, with her burning up the car. Yeah, they saying yes, yes, yes. They wouldn't be saying yes, yes, yes when the police show up and they putting her in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? You
See,
go and try that if you want to.
when she looked in and how the camera changed, and he was like, and of course this is directed by a man, Forrest Whitaker. When she went to the closet and she said all of this, order like a serial killer, and then she grabbed the stuff, people like, oh shoot, people was on the edge of the seats like, what's she about to do with them clothes? Then she brings the clothes out, take them to the car. Then at the last minute when she flicked that cigarette, people was going off, and I was like, dang, that was a lot.
I mean, we get it. We get angry and everything like that. Somebody dogs you out, and as bad as you may want to make them feel the pain and the hurt that you feel, you can't. Something like that is like you said. That's extra. You know.
Yeah, it was
that's
extra.
Totally extra.
But again, let's talk about, because we're talking about whether if Terry McMillan is male bashing or woman bashing. Again, we know people who are extra and who would do that. And we know people who cheat on their wives and sometimes end up with a white woman who's the secretary. We know that. So again,
shoot. Jasmine Sullivan talked about busting your windows out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's for real. It's a lot of like people say, you know what? I done gave you like she did her whole speech 9 years. She done gave all the years. She before he blew up and she was his assistant and she did everything and she put herself on hold. She had them babies. So I get it. All of that is going on in your head. Like, how dare you? Then you got the ego involved. I get it. Then you got the emotions involved. I get it. But in 1995, now Kendell in 2021, I might sit there and be like, Dad, he ain't need to do that, but go ahead. I understand, girl. But in 1995, I was like, dang, you know, the naive part of me was like, that's a lot. Now I'd be like, I won't condone that, but go on, girl.
Ain't that what Chris Rock said? He said, I don't agree with it, but I understand.
But I understand, right? So when I look back, and it's funny as you mature and you go through life and you go through experiences that you see things differently. Because I'm thinking about then, you know, it's totally different from, you know, however old I was in there. I don't feel like doing the math. What, 20 something, I guess. At that age, 20 something, and now almost 50. You know, some stuff done happened in between. You understand, you know. You understand. All right, so let's go to Gloria and being a single mom, raising a son by herself, and then the neighbor comes across the street, which is Gregory Hines. That seems real to me too. And he was a good man in the film as well.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. Like you said, people are going to see and pull out of it what they want to pull out of it and everything like that. But if you delve into the characters, like you said, and you look at the women, you look at the men, you can actually come away saying, okay, these are folks that you can relate to, because you may know somebody who's gone through that very thing.
Exactly.
You may know somebody that's a single mom.
Yeah.
You know, and she all of a sudden meets this, you know, she meets this guy, and she's like, shouldn't I? You know,
right.
Oh, let me introduce myself. Let me, you know, oh, he, you know, the way y'all do. Oh, he kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me go say hello.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then the walking away, you know, oh, is he looking? I hope he's looking. And then y'all put that extra little shimmy on it, you know.
Right.
You know, put that extra little shimmy on it to make sure that if he is looking, that he catch it, and he'd be like, okay.
To seal the deal. She's trying to seal the deal. But think about that. You know, she, as a single mom, as someone who, you know, Loretta Devine talks about this when she played Gloria, she had to gain some little weight because in the movie in the book, she was bigger, right? So you're talking about a woman who used her womanly wild, even though insecure. She knew I might be insecure about my body, I might be insecure about my little haircut or whatever, but I ain't insecure about two things, and that's that I could do some hair and I could cook. and she came over there with that food with her little skirt on and was hugging her little, and then, you know, doing that. And he was like, I like my women big. So there you go, body positivity. A man that, like he said, I like my women with a little meat on their bones, you know? So I thought that was pretty dope. And also, you know, even though, you know, hearing that her trying to, because she was lonely, she needed someone, she wanted someone. So she even tried to shoot her shot again with her ex, but then, you know, she found out he was gay. So even just feeling that longing for a man, and then he moves across the street and he's a widower, and he's cute, and he was moving in, and she was like, boom, I may not have all of this, but I know I can make up a hot plate.
and that's the thing too. And you just brought up something that, like I said, that with Loretta Devine's character, that I think that even at that time, even to now, you still have women who go through what she's went through, being a single mother, son getting ready to go off to college, or getting, is no longer. So she's there. She doesn't have the company. She's feeling, like you said, insecure about herself. So how does she navigate through that? And then still at the same, I like the fact, like you said, the fact that she approached him. And now I know,
and you always talk about that. You always talk about that.
I'm telling you, I will say it. I'll say it again. Y'all women better understand. Y'all can listen to Kevin Samuels and all of them if y'all want to, or Derek Jackson, which I don't know if y'all trying to hear him anymore right about.
We about to talk about Derek Jackson, because he fits right into this movie.
But I
know you said what movie?
I've said it again. I'll say it again, ladies, and I'm gonna say it right now, ladies. If you and y'all do, I'll say it like this: you all do approach men without approaching them, and y'all do this thing like well, she came over with some food first, and she was walking away and didn't know shit. But there's a way that you all let us men know that you're interested in us before we even approach you all. It's like y'all are giving us the okay. And I've said this before, that unless the guy is a good guy, and he's seeing, he may be involved with somebody, or he may be married. Other than that, if you are even if you're not, I would say it like this: even if you are a decent looking woman, and you approach a guy, and he's single, doesn't have any, even if he's just dating, but he's single as well. I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, he will take your number. He will start to be more engaged to you, because he now has an understanding that she's interested in him. Even if it, even if you go further to that next step where you're trying to get to know each other, he'll be like, oh, hey, you want to go out and, have dinner sometime or have lunch sometime? It will happen, ladies. But so many women are afraid of being rejected that they use, to me, I'll say it, y'all get mad if you want to, I say they use it as a crutch to be able to not have to ask men out, so that they
to be old school. And then some will say they're old school in that fashion, but they're not old school in other fashion.
Right. They just don't want the rejection. Now they'll accept the man, they'll accept turning a man down left and right. Oh, I'm not interested, no thank you, this, that, and the other. But they don't want to have to go through that.
Right.
So, but ladies, I'm telling you, I'm one of the guys that appreciates that. It goes to show me that a woman is not afraid to go after what she wants. We tell women to go after every other thing that they want in life, except for the man that they want.
What?
I'm just saying.
What?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I like, swallow their gum.
So don't send your hate mail to Kendell.
Do a show about that.
Yeah. Don't send your hate mail to Kendell, because she ain't say it. I said it. Send it
we
to
gotta
me.
do. Well, we gotta do a show about that. I'm gonna be sitting here like this. Look, why you go on and say it? Because but that is true. You have some truth to that. I can't even. It is true. When you put it that way.
Yep.
What can I say? You put it that way. You can go after it. He said you can go after everything else but a man. Ooh. Yeah, somebody just swallowed a gum.
I'm sorry. I ain't mean to, hey, Kendell, I'm sorry. I ain't mean to. I didn't mean to step
keep
on.
it real.
No, I didn't mean to step on their cute Converses and their red bottoms. I'm sorry. What is it? The pearls in the Converse?
The pearls and the chucks. You didn't mean to
Right,
step
yeah,
on
the
the
chuck,
pearls and the
right,
chucks.
right, right. The pearls and the chucks. Yeah, I didn't mean to step on your chucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Or make you clench your pearls.
Look, somebody just straightened out their jacket. They like, I never. They did clutch their pearls on that one. Oh, definitely talk about that one again. So let's go to the last lady, Whitney Houston as Savannah.
Yes.
Let's talk about that to see if that's real. So Savannah, first of all, her mom, he's a good man, Savannah. That already shows the generational issue with women. Like, because the mother was lonely, she didn't have a man, and she was willing and teaching her daughter to just take a piece of man, whether it's somebody's husband or not. So that goes to that. So when you're talking about this is a male bashing movie, I'm like, no, this was like for real for men and women. It was some hard truth on the man's side. But when her mom said that, she was like, Mom, and she disrespected her mom, and then she ended up calling her back. Shoot, I done had them conversations, not those type with my mom, where it gets like that thought or religious thought over thought is, and it gets heat. Like, to me, that was an honest, when I look at it from my eyes now and think about that, that was very honest. And then she hooks up with Jeffrey Sams first, which is the cute one from Soul Food. He was Vivica Fox's husband in Soul Food movie. And as this comes, and he just didn't have, remember, he just came and, you know, he was good. They slept together and all of that. He came out with his little boxers, but he didn't really have much. Remember? Wasn't that the thing with him?
What was it? Yeah, I don't know.
And then go.
No, go ahead.
Can you?
Yeah, go ahead, because you were fading in and out, but go ahead.
I hear something.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do you hear something going?
Oh, that's probably the.
Okay, I'm not sure what that is, but oh, okay, because I kept hearing something. All right,
Yeah,
so then you go with David Haysbert, right? Oh, okay. So then you go with David Haysbert, and he got the woman. He's telling the line. Like, to me, this is authentic. Telling the line, oh, I'm about to leave my wife. Oh, when are you going to leave your wife? Just so you can get sleep with her again, and then again and again. And then when she holds your feet to the fire, you like, but what about my kids? I can't leave my kids. So he ain't never planned on leaving the wife for her. And then she really realizes that when she throws the water on him. That seems like it's honest too. It don't seem like it's bashing the woman or the man. It seems like it's telling the story. What you think about that?
Ladies.
Oh.
Ladies. And I had this conversation with somebody the other day, because we were, of course, talking about Kevin Samuels. I mean, not Kevin Samuels, Derek Jackson. Here's the thing, and this goes for men too. If you get involved with a woman that wants to tell you that they're separated, that, you know, them and their
yeah, because men go through this too.
Yeah, to say that they, you know, that they're separated and that they're getting divorced, that's fine. That's all well and good, and that may be the case. But here's the only thing that I would suggest to either one, whether it's male or female. You're like, that's cool. I hear that you all are going through your situation. When you get your divorce, when your divorce is final, then you can come
holler
at me, and if I'm available, then maybe we can move forward. That's all you have to say. Doesn't have to be this back and forth, or, you know, I wanted to see if it was going to work out, or they would have been separated for 2 years and this, that, and the other. No, let that situation play out before you get involved with somebody that tells you that they're separated or getting a divorce.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not, until that man and that woman is completely divorced, there's always a possibility, and you don't want to be caught in the middle of that. Your feelings all hemmed up. and that man goes back to his wife, or that woman goes back to her husband. You don't want to get, you know, just tangled into that type of entanglement, you know, until that is severed.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just that protects you from, you know, from giving your time, giving your feelings, investing you who you are into this person. And even once they're divorced, you still have to give them to, they should. And if you're someone who's separated over divorce, take the time to heal before you even get involved with somebody else.
Say that again, Leroy. Say that again.
Take the time to heal. Sit back, do an assessment, even if you just do something for yourself to say, you know what, you just went through a divorce. Why didn't it work? What responsibility did I play in this marriage not working? Because
and how can I make myself better and not blame the other person?
Exactly. Even if, I promise you, I don't care who you are, you played a part in that relationship not working. You played a part in it. You played a part in it, even if it was staying too long. Not communicating or communicating that this was not working. Even that, even if that at a minimum, you should be doing that. And then once you've done that healing, you've taken time to actually assess yourself and give your time and space to everything. Then you can start to, you know, to bring someone else into your space again. You know what I'm saying? But too many of us don't want to take that because, again, afraid of being lonely. And having to always wanting to feel as if you always have to have somebody in order to be able to enjoy life and everything like that. When and create even more damage or even more baggage for yourself by getting involved with somebody or hurting somebody else. Because you got involved with them, you know, basically off of the rebound, or basically to kind of keep yourself from, you know, keep yourself to have company, to have a warm body next to you in the bed. You know,
you better tell the truth.
You know, we've got to do it. So I mean, Whitney Houston's character knew that the dude was married. Knew he was married.
Because the mother done hooked her. Now that's the deep part. Her mother hooked her up with a married man because she needed a man and she wasn't getting any younger. And they were only like 30.
Yep.
They were only, because remember, one of my other lines is, "You still look good, girl." Like, I still say that to my friends, and that came from Waiting to Exhale. But we got to keep in mind that these women were in their early 30s.
Right. But see,
so for the mother to pressure to say, "Hey, you ain't got no man. You worried about your career and you worried about building your career, but you still don't have no man." So putting the importance on the man, and instead of congratulating the accolades that you're doing, you know what I mean, that you've achieved.
You just brought up something, and it made me think of, and I know we'll talk a little bit about Derek Jackson, but it made me,
because you brought him up a couple times, so we definitely talking about him.
What I hear Kevin Samuels saying, if for anybody, and I'm not trying to give this dude any kind of publicity, nothing like that, because he do what he do. I don't agree with this dude. His some of the stuff I can agree with what he said, but this is a man who says exactly what you were just saying about talking about women in their 30s. Oh, he has told women that you have until your maybe mid 30s before you are seen as he called them damaged goods.
He's a clown.
Yeah, and I'm just like telling women that you have to, you know, that they have to be married, like you were just saying. Well, and he literally, I happened to see one of his videos the other day.
See, I want all those women to come to me so I can deprogram.
Right. He literally told this woman, she was married, husband cheated on her. He literally told that woman, "What benefit is it of you to leave?" He said, why would you leave? Talking about, well, you know, because she was a home, you know, she was a stay-at-home mom. She had 2 kids, And you know, I don't remember what if she had graduated, if she had I believe she had a college degree. I'm not even sure, whatever. But
even
the fact,
life coach, he just this man, like it's just like he's not studied to be a life coach, you know, that in certain things, you know, honesty and you putting your personality in it. But he's just pretty much giving these women his opinion. And they're really
right,
feeling like they're damaged goods.
right, right. And I'm just like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, how these, and the men are eating it up because of course he's telling them what they want to hear, you know, that these what they want to, you know, what they want to call or whatever, the high value men or whatever, stuff like that. And he's basically telling women that you should be at home, that you should take care of your kids, and that the man is the one that should be working, and you should be totally dependent on him paying all the bills, or if he's not paying all the bills, then you know, or then what percentage of the bills are you willing to pay? He just does a whole bunch of stuff that I'm just like, if these people would really listen, they would. I mean, I'm like, I don't understand how y'all don't see this dude is just as bad as Derek Jackson and what he was saying, because I said the same thing about what he did when I was saying he was placating the women. He was placating the women, and as we've seen now, that he was no more than.
And I was surprised on how many women subscribed to him.
I'm not. I wasn't.
I was amazed at how many women were his books and subscribed to him. It made me sad. It made me sad, like for real, because people just want to hold on to some glimpse of hope and possibility, and he was feeding right into that.
But that was the game, Kendell. That was his game. That was his game. He knew that it, just like Steve Harvey, and yes, I said Steve Harvey too. He placated to what like you said, that woman who had low self-esteem, who wanted to feel as if, yeah, I can do anything I want. I'm big, bad, independent. I don't need a man. All of that, and you know, men can do no right. men can do no right. All of those things was what he was feeding them, and as a result of that, he knew he would be able to sell the books. He'd be able to get the subscribers, like you said, on YouTube, because they would tune in.
And he had a deal with TD Jakes. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that was on the table now.
Did you hear that he had a deal with TD Jakes?
Yeah, I would hope that would be disappearing really quickly. And to me, that's why you've seen him do.
Just froze. He just froze for a minute. You know, when you're doing live shows, this is what happens. So hopefully he will unfreeze. But we're talking about Derek Jackson. Jackson. I said the Jacks because he'll do put the little J, the X in it. Let me just see. Okay, there you are. Okay, there you are. Yeah, I lost you for a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But go ahead. You were talking about Derek Jackson and what he was placating to women.
Yeah, I mean, but that he was placating the women, and that deal that he had, I guess, that he was contracting with Bishop T. Jakes. That was a big, I think it was worth at least like $100,000. What did they say? 100,000.
100,000. Yeah, I heard that.
$100,000 deal. So he wasn't trying to lose that money. He was like, baby, you better put that bonnet on and say something.
But let's talk about. She said it was a helmet of salvation. It was not a bonnet, and then he said it was a hat. So don't get it twisted. But so many people were so focused. She said this is a helmet of salvation.
Did you see the meme with her and No Limit as a little?
No. Oh Lord,
I gotta send it to you. they got her, they got her face on one of the No Limit soldiers. Oh, like, the internet is brutal. It is brutal.
They are. But listen to this though. I'm scared to see, I can't, my stomach, I can't really laugh.
Oh, okay.
But this is the thing. So many people were focused on her not having a bra on, her having that hat on, and her sitting next to him, that a lot of people were so focused on that he did the same Jedi mind trick that he does with women. Like, he got the conversation off of him and then on to women or men other than himself. So everybody played into what he's already doing, because first of all, and also he already told her way before that he cheated on her, right? So he was still doing these videos and still doing all of that stuff, and being a scrub, like we talking about Waiting to Exhale with like Dennis Haysbert's character, or what is his name, Micheletti Williamson, Bubba Gump. Still, with that, and how he was, and then Leon's character, like, we can wrap those all up into Derek Jackson with the X and the N, but then his wife came out to reveal again. It's just spelled Jackson. If you look at her name, it was Jackson. But he tried to even be fancy, putting the X and the N, But saying that she knew about it and all of that. And like, of course, it's going around. We ain't going to talk that to death. But you were like, how can we just for a moment talk about what movie can we talk? Man, I'm like waiting to because exhale. And it sounds like she was. Quickly, what do you think about that? I know you gave some of your input about her and her of salvation.
Well, I mean, one, I just thought it was sad to see her. The look didn't bother me. I mean, I wasn't worried. A lot of women tried to dog her about the makeup and stuff like that. I mean, I don't get why she came on with the bonnet or whatever she wants to call it. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe she was just like.
They're saying because she's verbally and mentally abused, emotional abused, and she just didn't care.
Exactly, and that's a valid point too. And just the from one of the other ladies that I've heard about, which was the surgeon. I don't know if you've listened to her or not. Because she did an interview with the young lady called Tasha K, but she said that he was verbally abusive to her. So, I mean, she gave some stuff. I was just like, oh, I was like, okay. I'm like, down.
But you can tell how he talks and how he just was kind of shutting her up and doing all that, those microaggressions. You can tell.
Or even being a narcissist, as folks have called him, and everything like
and that. And gaslighting, all of that. Like you said, narcissist, gaslighting, the whole nine.
Yeah, all of those things. So I can see her if she had low self-esteem, like we talked about with some of the other characters. If you have that low self-esteem, if you have that, if you're a quiet person or have a quiet demeanor, which she seems to have. She's one of those church young ladies that, she's quiet. She doesn't talk a lot. She's attractive, but she doesn't, she's not one of those.
She don't got the lashes and the nails.
She's not.
She ain't got all that.
She's just
she ain't
like,
all fixed up. But if she needs to, she will do it. But she don't feel the need to do it.
Exactly.
And I can respect that. Right. Like, she was who she was when she sat down there. She didn't pretend to be. She didn't go throw on a wig real quick and put on, lashes like this. She was like, it is what it is. This is me. And everybody say he had his thirst trap shirt on when he did the video.
But see, the thing is that's been him all along. He's all of his videos. He has. I mean, but let's just say. I mean, let's be real. You can tell he's an in shape dude because they said he was like. They said he was really tall too. They said he was like 6'3", 6'4", something like that.
Oh, okay.
So he's evidently, tall, but you can tell he's, you can tell he's buff, he's muscular, and he keeps his body in shape, which is nothing wrong with that. And that was who he's been all along. His videos, he got the tight shirt on, so that's nothing new. There ain't nothing new about any of that with him and everything like that.
Now, he used to come up and down my timeline, but I didn't subscribe to him. I didn't really know, other than knowing his face looked familiar and knowing that he did videos, but I never bought anything of his. I never really listened to him. And now he seems more popular than he was.
But that's the hitch, though. That's the hitch. And you know how some folks will say, bad publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity. There's no such thing as bad marketing. Any kind of, and he's one of those people where he might have thought, hey, and he did. He said, let me see how I can spin this to be able to sell even more. Same thing with Kevin Samuels. The more people talked about him, the more people did what? Went to his YouTube channel, went to his subscribe, went to more of his videos. Well, let me see what this dude is about. Let me see what he's saying this time, this, that, and the other, and everything like that. So that was part of the hitch, because even in the second and third and fourth videos that he did after all this stuff came out, all he did, Kendell, was talk about, you can get my book, you can get my latest book, pushed his book. And I don't know whether or not people were or not, if that helped his book sales or whatever, but he still pushed it. He still pushed his book.
I'm sure it did.
I was just like, this goes to show you what he was about, So, yeah.
So we can look at, and I'm glad that you wanted to bring him up, because as we talk about Exhale, like, he really is those three men combined. And then you do have women who, like Robin, she talked about that, or she had a miscarriage. So she was dippy, but she really wasn't. She was a smart girl. You saw her at work, but then they had her like naive, right? Ever. So you could kind of check Jared Jackson and his wife really trying to, make some sense of it all and compare it to real life. Like I said earlier, a lot of people are men or know someone who are like them in waiting to exit. Before we conclude and wind down, what were one of your some of your favorite scenes quickly in Waiting to Exhale?
Probably, well, my favorite
one that stands out.
One that stands out to me was the scene with Wesley Snipes and Angela Bassett. They, after they were sitting down in the lobby or in the hotel lobby or the bar lobby and everything like that, and he talks about his wife having cancer and everything like that, and I can't remember if they had gone, they had talked after that or before that or whatever, but they wound up actually spending the night with each other. But when the camera shows them
at the hotel room, that was the same night.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was all one night. But when the camera shows them the next morning, all they're fully clothed, laying on the bed, and all they did was fall asleep in each other.
Even shoes, even down to the shoes was still on.
So I thought that was such a soft and just caring moment between them, because here you have a man who's in love with his wife, didn't want to cheat on his wife, or didn't want to do anything, but at the same time he was a human being, and he like you said, he wanted that companionship, and he hadn't been, of course, with his wife being sickly, he wasn't, he didn't have that at that time, and Angela Bassett was going through what she was going through with her marriage, but you have these two people that kind of connected in such a way that it was like wow, to see them not cheat on each other, not cheat was great. I thought that was a great way to,
so was that still cheating?
To me, no. To me, no. I mean,
and that was a sweet moment. So okay.
I wouldn't consider it cheating. I mean, I could understand it. You know, I totally get it. Totally understand it.
Because because even the letter, remember he wrote it you remember he was like about you, and so it was really sweet, like you said, and special, and there was no pretentiousness. There were no lies. There were no fake. It wasn't like he was trying to get at her. And he said, I'm married. He said, let's be clear. I love my wife. You know, she's going through this. But you do, that human side of you does need that emotional support and that compassion and that other connection to the opposite sex. Let's be real. So I like the fact that they did spend the night together and shoes on, everything on, that he also said, I told my wife, you know, and I think, and she wants me to be happy. I think that was that sweet moment.
Right.
And her hair was still laid, her makeup was still done. Because remember all this makeup, you know, he said you look flawless. That little scene, even when they were at the bar, they first met. You like her cigarette, but you know, she cigarette, you know, that was back then when you could in bars and stuff. And you know, had an honest conversation, saw both of their vulnerability in that space, even just meeting a perfect stranger. When he said, I don't know you from a can of paint. And just having that. And one of my favorite scenes is, and I remember, shout out to my girlfriend Tramika in Vegas, one of my good girlfriends. And I remember I lived in Vegas, but I had moved here like a year before Waiting to Exhale came on. Although you have girls, something endearing to see the four girlfriends on the beach singing Tootsie, and they had each other and they all knew each other, because even sometimes in my friend group, I might know each other, all these that are and love each other. It was beautiful to see as a woman. So me and my girlfriend from there, we was like, we got to have a Waiting to Exhale type of, girlfriend fish. It just was, to have that, and when Robin decided by Leon's character decided she would have the baby, and they all rallied around her. It's like, we the aunties, we the baby daddies, like you gonna be okay. And that was just so sweet to me. Like, what you might courage to say, don't need you. And he like, and she slammed the door, and that was just a victory for her. Because even afterwards, she was like, yes. So even a victory in the growth and the evolution. Yeah, you could be that woman who keeps taking that food back and he's using you. But eventually you're going to get enough courage to say, love don't live here no more. And I'm slamming the door. Pregnant or not, you were able to say, you know what? I'm going to do this, because I deserve more. I think that was, a powerful statement to make, after she got the dud and, the best in the summertime wearing, and she was throwing the oranges, at him from the balcony, all those little funny parts. But to still in the wallet and still and Whitney's Savannah's like, well, I guess you know who took your wallet. And she was like, who? And she was like, girl, like, just showing just the naivete and what. And even when Wendell Pierce would give it to her, how she was jealous when he had another woman. They was like, well, you broke up with him. So every woman has that relation too. Like, well, the good one, So that was real too. But I thought it was, a good movie. I definitely don't see the men looking as bad as the women did sometimes. And now that I'm almost 50, thinking about it, it really is a reflection of relationships and people and just trying to navigate, in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because when you think about the past, like you said, the past 20 years or since 1995 when that movie came out, and think of, I promise you, there's probably somebody in your circle that you can think about that has had one of those 4 relationships
Mm-hmm.
that came from that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Either whether you've experienced it
Yeah.
yourself or you know somebody in your circle that has gone through one of those type of relationships and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So quickly, we got like 5 minutes left. So quickly, as a man, what's your biggest takeaway from that movie when you think of?
My takeaway and I'll do one for men and one for the women. For the men, and we talked about this just before we came on. I talked about being a man. Just be a man, and I'll say it like that. Just be a man, and man is an acronym for be mature, be accountable, and be natural. I'm gonna say that again for the fellas. Be mature, be accountable, and be natural. That means when I say be natural, I'm saying be who you authentically are. You don't have to put on airs for for a woman. You ain't got to act like you got all kinds of bank and trying to fly here and do this, that, and the other. Live at the capacity that you are. And if that's not good enough for somebody, if that's not good enough for a woman, then you don't need her. Just be a man. That's what I would say to the men. And for the women,
just be a man about it.
That keeps ringing in my head when I say that though too. But it's true. And for a woman, it's the same thing, but we're going to add the WO on it. Just be a woman. And when I say woman, I say this: understand your worth, or understand your worth. Be organized in who you are. Be organized in who you are. Be mature. Be accountable, and be natural. That last MAN stands for you as too, ladies, as well. You need to be mature, you need to be accountable, and you need to be natural. But we're gonna throw on, you need to understand who you are authentically as a woman, know your worth, understand you are, don't let anybody else dictate who you are, and be organized in who you are. Don't have yourself all over here or trying to deal with this man or that man just because I got here we go, Kendell. I got a man for my rent. I got a man for my telephone bill. I got a man for this. Not all of that. Be organized in who you are.
Got a maintenance man?
I know, right?
A maintenance
right. All of that. No. Just be a man and just be a woman. That's all. That would be my takeaway from this.
And I think that that's a perfect takeaway. So before we end, I have some news. Well, first, those that they were getting ready to do a Waiting to Exhale 2. All the women they were on board, and then Whitney Houston suddenly passed away. Yeah. They were in talks about it before Whitney Houston died.
Oh, wow.
And they couldn't do it, obviously, and they didn't want to do it without their sister, but they had all to do it. Everybody, exhale, do it with Terry McMillan. But guess what the spin is? It's going to be the daughters of the ladies.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be the daughters waiting to tell. So the series is going to be with the daughters, and that came out of Terry McMillan's mouth. And she is the women who were in it that are still here will play some type of part in that movie. Oh, okay. So for all you people who love Waiting to Exhale, it's not completely over after all of these. All right, Leroy, this has been another show in the can.
Absolutely. I love it.
We have done Love Jones, Love and Basketball. Yes. We've done Love Jones, Love and Basketball, Boomerang, The Best Man, New Jack City, and now I can.
Wow. Oh.
Exhale.
That's 6.
We've really been doing it.
I know, right?
Right.
Wow.
We've really been so now.
Hope folks have enjoyed
next
it.
week. Yes, and please share it, with moviegoers and movie lovers. And as we always say, this is seen a movie in 30 years, then it is going to be spoiled for you, but we won't give everything away. And if you're young and haven't seen it, we'll give you the opportunity to see it. So next week, we'll either do Coming to America, Poetic Justice, or Soul Food. One of those you will see next week. So don't forget to subscribe below and tune in each week. You see us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, check out everything else I have going on this YouTube channel. I'm a certified life, so you'll have but education and the entertainment part. Anything to say, Leroy, before we go?
No, I think this has been awesome. Good to be back with you. Have you rolling? You know what I'm saying? So this is always fun. This is always fun. So
yes, it is. Wouldn't want, and I would say always I wouldn't want to do this with any than.
You know what this reminds me of?
Like, I love movies. So this is what?
It reminds me, I don't know if you watch her, but the young lady Tiffany Cross that has the cross talk or cross connection on Saturday mornings. She took Joy Reid's spot.
Oh no, you have to send it to me.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. You gotta send it to me.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you. Yeah, but she does a after show with one of the he's usually on one of the panelists that she'll have on. His name is Jason Johnson, but he sometimes will host a show on CNBC, MSNBC. But they have this dialogue. They do an Instagram live, and it's like you and I, because they have conversations about everything, and that's what this reminds me of.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, you gotta
having a conversation, talking about different things. Now, as a specifically movies, theirs covers, different stuff that's in the news and whatnot and everything like that. But they'll talk about different things too, and it's good to have these male-female conversations because you get, a male perspective, you get a female perspective.
Yeah,
you get to talk about things that that we talk about. Things that those of us is, in our community, Black folks,
I love it,
that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that we love to talk about is movies. So.
I believe it. Yes, and I love it. And I'm do IG live because I want to talk about what we were talking about with women asking men out. So we might do something like that on IG live, but we'll talk about that off the air. But everybody, this is More Than Just a Movie with Kendell Lenice and Leroy Mckenzie Jr. Break down classic Black films every week. Again, subscribe. So I'm gonna have to call Daryl. You're gonna have to help me down off this chair. But thank you, everyone. Look, here he came. He came right out too. Leroy came right out. He was right on the side. He came right.
My man. All right, lady. Well, you go rest up. Get some rest.
He just peeked through. All right, but thank you everybody for tuning in. God